Hello, good morning and welcome. It is the 10th of June and commitment of traders, we will start off as ever, Australian dollar. The commercials are just very slightly long this pair. The overall fundamentals for the Australian dollar is heavily bearish over the next 18 months. So we'll look at the chart. This is the Australian dollar, US dollar. So we are now starting to see quite a few people going short, commercials, this is going short. We still have an overall long position and there were longs added, but they were added about 3 days ago, about there. It has longed a little bit since, and I think the position is going to reverse next week. So I've taken a trade here at the top. There's not really much there for me to put a stop behind. This pair don't move very quickly, and I see 76 as the top. These are only very small trades, nothing large, because I'm a little bit overcommitted on everything else that I've got on. But if it goes up to 76, I will come in heavy with it. My small positions, I don't actually put a stop behind. They are very small. If I put a large position on, as you've seen on the USD Japanese yen and on the Euro yen, I get in quick with a stop. British pound. We all know we've had a big fall in the value of the pound with the elections, but the commitment of traders on Tuesday, they were long. They've added positions and are longer the pounds than they were. So if we look at the charts, not that one, maybe even, here we go. Whoops. Right, okay. So, yeah, actually what's happened is a lot of the shorts have come off. So it's not as strong as people actually adding, but there you go. Because of the elections, probably. A lot of the positions have been taken off. This short, I thought it might actually go down to this blue line here, as I mentioned before, which is another major support stroke turning point. It didn't, it got down to about there. So we would be long this, but I've chosen actually to go long the pound Australian dollar. I believe there's a lot of upside in that. Another one that's also very good would be the pound New Zealand dollar. So there you go. Not a lot more I can say about that. It's just I'm a bull of the pound. The British economy is doing better than most other European economies. Definitely better than France. Probably not as good as Germany, but it is doing well. There we go. Next one, Canadian dollar. Yeah. Right, we've actually gone a little bit more bearish this. I've discounted these two large movements up because they were created from negativity. There was a lot of people leaving the shorts and then not returning. So I'm basically I am bearish the Canadian dollar. The fundamentals for Canada are pretty dire. They want the Canadian dollar to be lower than it is. Oil is going down in value. There's no increase in line for the Canadian dollar. They want it to be cheaper to help the export because obviously the oil is going out of favour. So there we go. I can just show you the chart USD Canadian dollar. We did have some really good news actually for Canada, and we got this nice red candle. This is USD Canadian dollar. So that was strength to the Canadian dollar, but it didn't really go that far. you know, I mean, it was good news for the Canadian dollar, but it sort of came down and basically went back up. This line here, this is about 1.4. That is, as I see, pretty firm support for the USD Canadian dollar. So we'll move on from there. The euro remained about the same as last week. This is a really bearish position that the commitment to traders have got. As the euro starts to fall, so we will see this decrease, and it's come down a little bit from last week, not a lot. We'll have a quick look at the charts. Euro USD. Yeah, as you can see, we've got a little bit of a fall there. This is still sort of going up. If you look, you've got the candles are making higher highs, and you've got the RSI making lower lows, very, very slightly. But the RSI is well below the 69.1. So I am expecting this to continue down. The stochastic is looking down. We have had more longs this week for the on the commitment of traders, and lost some of the shorts. But we do have an overbearingly powerful short position. That's more short than it's been for years, as I've mentioned before. Japanese yen. Well, we're still long the Japanese yen on the commercials, although we have lost a little bit over the last 5 weeks. And if we go and look at the charts, USD yen, there we go, that one there. We can see we have actually gained quite a bit of strength in the yen, and we're just having a little bit of a step back up at the moment. Might even go up to the mid-Bollinger Band, but generally the fundamentals for the yen are really good. So we should, over the next 18 months, see a lot of strength in the yen, and we should see this come back down to parity. So that's the way I feel about the Japanese yen. Swiss franc. Swiss franc. We're losing a little bit of the longs at the moment on the commercials. If we have a look at the charts, wrong one. USD CHF. Right. We've gained shorts and lost some of the longs. We're still 2-to-1 long, but I think this is looking like it's going to bounce. I really do. We've got to the bottom of the RSI. I think this position is going to turn. The CHF, it isn't something that I trade a lot. I find it very expensive on swaps if you're going to hold. So we have gained extra shorts there, and we have seen the candles come back up. But I think this is starting to look a bit weak. It's had a hell of a run up. The CHF has gained a lot of strength, and you also have to be very beware of trading the CHF. You know, if you get a move from risk on to risk off, the CHF can go through the roof. So just be careful. Mexican peso. Mexican peso. It has gone more short, so it's going off the chart there, more short the Mexican peso, and I could really do with it. I've actually put too much money on this. You know, I mean, sitting back now, you can just see it. You don't have to be Einstein to work this one out. We are coming down to the 30 on the RSI, and I could really do with it to bounce off there. You know, hands up. The election and the party that got in, I didn't expect that. So yes, I'm struggling a little bit with that one. Um, it's lost 7,000 off the longs and it's gained 3,000 on the shorts, which is always good to hear. I just wish this would accelerate a little bit more, but hey ho. New Zealand dollar. Now, this is coming back down to even Stevens position, and this, I must say, I really, really like this. If we go and have a look at it on the chart, yes, here we go. Look at this, the way this has climbed over the last 4 or 5 weeks. I think this is starting to get exhausted. We've lost some longs, but we've gained shorts. And that is actually the powerful signal, actually the plus. Gain shorts. I'm looking for this to top out. This blue line, this is the turning point. It's a heavy resistance as far as I'm concerned. The next one up obviously is up here. I think this is going to turn around. I'm very interested in watching it. Keep an eye on it, see what you think. Actually, the pound against the New Zealand dollar is actually a very good trade. It might be slightly better than the one that I've picked, which is the pound Australian dollar, but there's plenty of time to get in. Now, energies, crude oil, yep, no, crude oil, yes. We have gone a little bit more bearish, which I'm delighted to say. I've done very well with this. And yes, oil, here we go. I got in at the top here, I followed it down, I got out, I got back in up here, I followed this all the way down. This is starting to flag a bit now on this support. I think this is going to follow through. That's what I'm banking on. It should bounce off this RSI and come down. So as soon as it gets over the 30, if it just wiggles across here, this is continued downward movement. So excellent, excellent trade. That very pleased with that. Metals, silver. Yeah, we've gained some more shorts on this as well. If you look at the DXY, this is starting to bottom out and to gain strength the last 3 days. This always helps with silver. If the dollar increases in value, silver drops. And as you see, we've got 3 nice red candles here. What we did here, this behaves very nicely. This is my resistance line on the RSI. The turquoise line came up, it hit it. We got in short. I got 2 trades on it there. It's coming down. It's going through the RSI at a nice angle. I think this is going to continue down. So I think I took about 2,000 pips on this one here. So if we can get another 1,000 pips out of this, I will be absolutely delighted. Yeah, soft stocks. Now, what we got here, S&P 500. It has gone very slightly short, towards the short. It's still long. It's still on the long side of the line, but it is very slightly short. Nasdaq, again, a step in the short direction. Dow Jones, a step in the short direction. Russell 2000, a big step in the short direction. You can see which way this is going and the way the money is starting to eke out of there. So you know, this is the way I think the stocks are going to go. But you know, in a month's time, in a week's time, I really don't know. But the movement on the commitment of traders is going the right way. Okay, well, that's it for today. I shall try and get back and do another video later on tonight where I'll analyze the divergence between the commitment of traders report and different pairs. I'll come back and have a little look at that. But like I say, I got straight into the pound Australian dollar on the fall of the pound. But I think maybe the pound New Zealand dollar might actually have more potential. I saw about 1,500 pips potential in the Australian dollar. We'll have a look at it. I'll do another video later today or tomorrow. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Much appreciated, and for your likes and subscriptions.